Yo, it's Busby.
Yo.
Yow. Yow.
Yow.
Yow. Oh, like anonymous. Yow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to get rich.
I'm about to get
Gotta
rich.
get rich.
Yeah. I sound like a grudge. I remember how to rap like that. I had like a bar. Like, yo, I truck my neck. I truck my. I go dumb like that bitch from The Grudge, trucking my neck like what?
Oh, you stupid as shit.
Yeah, I know. That was back in the day when I used to kind of rap. But what up, motherfuckers? This is episode 54. It's 54 of the Illogical Sense podcast. This is your boy, Mr. Buzz B, out in the Bay, good old San Jose. And out in LA is my boy, Mr. JC Nuts.
Once again, what is cracking, everybody?
What is cracking, everybody? How was your weekend?
It's chill, man. Real chill.
That's cool. Mine was pretty chill, too. Worked for the majority of it, but I made some money. Went out, of course.
Hell
yeah. Got a little drunk, but I had fun. You know how that goes. And saw a little bit of Summerslam. I didn't wait till later and shit. Did you watch Summerslam?
We'll get to that.
No. Well, yeah, a lot of shit went down. A lot of shit went down this week, especially when it comes to racism. And, you know, not surprising to me, but Mr. Hoe Ass Nigga in office still chose both sides, and in a nutshell, he is for the racist motherfuckers.
Yep.
I mean, it's not surprising. I don't know why people were so angry when he fucking when he did that little speech, that little interview speech, and he chose both, and he pretty much blamed both sides and said the white nationalists are good people and all this other shit. Like, come on, bro. I don't know why people were that surprised. Everyone on my timeline was like really, really surprised about it. I mean, I wasn't.
Yeah, again, if you've been following this situation for the last 2.5 years, you're not surprised. Especially when people are like, oh my God, I don't understand how we got to this point. And it's like, really? Did you not watch his damn presidential campaign rallies? Seriously? Like, they were literally on footage. Like, we saw this coming.
Yeah, and also, I remember I re-listened to my post-election podcast, my solo podcast, and I was all like, you know what? I don't think Donald Trump is racist like that. I think he's just scared. He was just trolling. Nah, he's racist. Yep. Just a tad. Yep. But it's just funny now because ever since that speech, he's literally like his whole presidential shit is just going literally down the drain, and it's really amusing to watch how all this shit is going down.
Yeah.
It's literally amusing. It's entertaining because everyone is literally dropping like flies. Literally.
Oh, it's very entertaining. And like when you say dropping like flies, I mean, obviously, what was it? Friday, Steve Bannon, he resigned.
The CEO.
But according to the.
Go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, explain who he is real quick.
Oh no, I know who his whole ass is. Fuck a race.
Oh, for the people.
Fuck it, what was he? Was he like the strategist or some shit like that? Staff?
Yeah. So he claims he resigned. Trump's administration says that he was fired, which of course, why wouldn't they? I mean, he's trying to treat everything like the damn apprentice.
And his little business committee with all them CEOs and all that, he pretty much went on Twitter and said it got disbanded. But then the CEOs released a statement saying, nah, we had a joint phone call and we all pretty much said we out. Yep. So and then people are now calling for his impeachment. Senators are coming out. The GOP is literally slowly backing away from him, and it's just it's like the house of cards. The house of cards is literally crumbling around him, and it's just. At first, I remember back in the day when he got elected, I was so stressed out about it, but my mom told me God is in control. So God has a plan for this. So I just sat back and I just watched how everything's unfolding, and now I understand his plan. This is funny.
Yeah.
The
whole time you were upset, and I kept laughing. I kept saying, it's a comedy show. Let's just watch it play out.
Oh, man.
And that's exactly what's happening.
God has a sense of humor.
Oh, man. You talk about sense of humor. And not only did Steve Bannon go down, but there are a plethora of white supremacists and Nazi radicals who went on and of course protested, and they are now out of jobs.
That's what happens when you show up with the mask off.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Just think about this. You requested time off from work to go to this rally, right? You requested time off. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take some time off for this week. Oh, why? Oh, I got some rally I gotta go to. Your face shows up on the internet, and then you show back up to work like nothing even happened, and your boss brings you in the office and is like, "Yo, what the fuck is this? Yeah, we gotta let you go."
Exactly. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
One boy got fucking banned from OkCupid for life, so he can't even get pussy no more.
Nope.
It's like, dude, what did you think was going to happen? Yeah, you have a freedom of speech, but there's a reason why it's called freedom of speech. You're free to do what you want, but there's consequences for your actions.
Every action has a reaction.
Exactly.
And every decision has a consequence.
Exactly.
So I'm not understanding why, they thought it was a free-for-all. Yeah, you can say what you want to say, but just understand there's going to be a consequence, and there's going to be repercussions to be paid as a result. I was laughing because they, the think pieces are coming up in, the just all over the place, and one of them was that kid that was in the white shirt, and he's like fully yelled out and screaming.
Yep.
And they got his response to it, and he's like, "Oh, it was just a bad picture taken at a bad time. I'm not really for that." In the sense, like, motherfucker, you're walking with neo-Nazis and white supremacists. What are you saying?
And then another dude comes out and he does like a video saying how there's a warrant out for his arrest, and he's all on YouTube crying and shit like that. See, that's a story about bullies. Deep down inside, they're cowards just like anybody else. Hoe ass niggas.
Yeah,
this is beautiful.
It's great. It's hilarious to see. And then where was it, in Durham, North Carolina, they tore down one of the Confederate statues. But they caught one of the black women that went and put the rope up. So of course they caught her easily. Meanwhile, we're still on Twitter trying to hunt all 4 or 5 of those dudes down who put a gash in old boy's head at the Charlottesville rally. Go figure that one.
Well, they're gonna find them out eventually. It's just
they've gotten, last time I counted, they got 3. So they're just looking for the last 1 or 2. And then Heather Hayer's family is really with the shits.
Her mom is with the shit. She pretty much said straight up, was like, do you want to talk to Trump? You want to talk to that hoe ass nigga? She's like, no, I got nothing to say to that hoe ass nigga after he dissed my own daughter. I got nothing to say.
Oh yeah, and then her cousin came out and asked, why did it take the death of a white woman for you guys to finally recognize that we have racial injustices going on in this country?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's all that had to happen. A white girl had to die.
Yeah, I mean, again, rest in peace to her. I would not. She died for the cause, as far as I'm concerned. Her family's invited to every single last cookout. But we gon' ride her wave to get this message across. Like, if you wasn't gonna listen to us before, now you have somebody, who's not black, who was actually fighting for our cause. And this is the result because you didn't want to wake up in the first place. And we're going to ride that wave out.
Oh, yeah. It's just funny just looking online and seeing everyone going like, if you ride with Trump, I don't fuck with you no more. He's just you go for hate. And I see it all over Facebook, all over Twitter, Instagram. I'm just looking at this shit like, I said this when he got elected. And y'all were telling me I need to give him a chance and I need to chill out. And now y'all with the shits. Sometimes I hate being ahead of the curve when it comes to my thoughts. But,
Oh, yeah.
BDB, Busby don't bullshit.
Yeah, now I'm looking at this situation. I'm like, man, now I know how Aaron Magruder must have felt all those years.
You don't know how Aaron Busby feels. The fuck?
You ain't nobody. You ain't make Hugh and Riley. Shut up.
Shut up.
And then we ended out the week with Boston.
Mean Street to Boston.
They tried that shit out in Boston, which makes sense if you know of Boston's racially insensitive history. And to kind of go off a tangent, just to show how racially insensitive it was, the Boston Red Sox were actually the last team in Major League Baseball to actually integrate. And that didn't take place until, I think either the end of the 60s or the start of the 70s. That's their history. But they tried the shit out in Boston, and literally tens of thousands came out to counter protest and let them know y'all can keep that shit over there. We ain't doing that today.
You feel me? Stay your asses over. It was hundreds. At the rally, there was only like hundreds of people that showed up. But when the camera panned away, you saw tens of thousands of anti-protests. And I think that was a message to all the other ones across the country that were thinking about doing that shit. It was like, yeah, we outnumber you. Don't try that shit out here. Don't try that shit in New York. And you might as well, don't you ever try that shit out in the Bay. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just go to Oakland and try that shit and see what happens.
Well, they tried to do it out here in L.A.
Yeah.
But they nixed that shit about 3 or 4 days before. And then I went with a couple friends on Friday they had an L.A. Interfaith rally against white supremacy. It was nothing big in the sense of, marching or anything like that, but it was a very important and a very inspiring event to be at. It was about an hour long. And literally, it was interfaith. You had everybody from all walks of life: black, white, Mexican, Asian, Christian, Muslim, Jewish. The LGBT was there as well. And everybody just came together and said, we all have our differences, but the one thing we have in common is we're not going to tolerate white supremacy.
Period.
That's not what we're going to do. It was great. It was just great to see everybody come together. It didn't, like I said, it didn't matter your ethnic background, your religion. Everybody came together and they showed love towards each other.
Exactly.
So that was something really. I was glad I attended that on Friday for sure.
That's what's up. Huh.
And then,
but also this past Friday, if you want to do a little Subway,
yeah.
Regardless of all the racial shit. Oh yeah. Side note: those are the clips today.
It hit down here, but it didn't hit in my area.
It kind of hit over. It kind of hit over here. It kind of got dark over here, kind of. But I think out in like Ohio, no, it was in Ohio. Some other states, they got a good glimpse of it, like the first solo eclipse in like the quarter century and shit.
Yeah, motherfuckers was all around staring at the sky, and I was like, I gotta drive to make money. Yeah, so I just kept driving. I went home, and then as I got home, I'm like, there's no solar eclipse here. Like, what the hell were y'all looking for?
And then the whole ass nigga in office, the old dumbass, looked up with his glasses on. That shit was hella funny. After they told him not to look up, they even said the people that were there, he looked up, and they told it, and someone in his advisor said, "Don't look up," and his ass looked up at the sun, like always.
Right.
Hoe ass. But anyway, like I said, Friday was a good day because you were just Steve Bannon quit. Trump is just losing his damn mind, and Jay-Z decided to drop a new interview.
Yeah, the Rap Radar with Elliot Wilson
and B. Dot, man. I remember back in the past, everyone that's followed me knew I was always going in on Elliot Wilson. I always was for his dick riding and shit. But then over time, I got older. I kind of understood what he was doing, and it was like, you know what, whatever. I got older, and he started the whole Rap Radar podcast. I would always listen to it. And I remember listening, like, I remember both of them would always kind of joke around or kind of half-heartedly say, like, it would be nice if we got a Jay-Z interview, but they didn't think it was ever going to happen. Well, they got signed to Tidal, and the podcast, I guess Tidal has their own section for just podcasting and shit, which is dope, man. We got to get our shit over to Tidal. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, somehow, some way, Hove has to cut us a check, and we got to go over to Tidal Theological Sense podcast, because there's hella shit on there. I might actually keep my Tidal subscription just off that. But anyway, I was scrolling and Jay-Z decided to give like a 2-parter interview.
Part 1 dropped on Friday.
Yeah, part 1 dropped on Friday at 4:44, of course, East Coast time. And him and Elliot Wilson and B-Dot, they had themselves a nice little conversation, and he pretty much said a whole lot of shit. Some real shit, some real OG nigga shit.
Yeah, he was one thing that obviously trying to go in order of the interview. From in terms of what caught my ear, the first thing that definitely caught my ear was him talking about how he condensed this album because it was so layered with content.
Yeah.
And the fact I actually went back and I was like, yeah, that's right. There was only 10 tracks. Like, that's actually a very low number for a Jay-Z album when you think about it. Mm-hmm. But it made sense. There was just so much to dissect that he just didn't want to go into overkill. Mm-hmm. That definitely caught my ear. The second point was he was more hands-on in terms of the production. Not necessarily him actually producing, but he was very, very in tune with No ID in the sound of the overall album. I think he had mentioned that the first 2 tracks they did for this album were Kill Jay-Z and then the story of OJ. Mm-hmm. And once he got those 2 down, he knew what the sound was going to be and how to finish out the rest.
Oh yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, because if you look on the credits, it's Jay-Z and No Idea literally all over the album. Like Jay-Z really did help with production on it. You know, really hands on with it.
Yeah. Next point was, I found very intriguing for an artist who has been out for 3 decades now. He's still learning how fans consume entertainment. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he goes off and discusses that how people were down talking the situation of, well, he only sold 1 million because he partnered with a big company that could do that. And his whole thing was, yeah, we did it, but the very next week, by their standards, we still went number 1. So what are you telling me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about that. The music still reached the people like it was supposed to. So what are you trying to tell me?
I don't really care about sales and shit like that. Like,
right.
And another one I really liked when he was talking about the whole money phone shit. He was just saying like, dude, I'm not dissing you guys. Like that's shit I used to do back in the day, but that's not how we show money. Real money is me sitting courtside with my boys at the Warrior game. That's money to me. Or just doing big baller shit, no pun intended, which we'll get into. But that's real money to me. And he even said other shit about how rappers nowadays are just too damn sensitive now.
Yeah, especially in discussing the wordplay line that could be correlated back to Future and Kill Jay-Z. Apparently Future had some issue with it, and he's been going on talking about it, and he's like, I don't have an issue with Future. And he goes, maybe that's just something I still got to work on as an artist, is just being mindful of what I say, but I was literally doing wordplay because it possibly could affect my life.
Yeah, he said he was just talking about Kill Jay-Z, and Kill Jay-Z is about killing my ego. So I'm literally talking. Sean Carter is talking, which I figured out. I mean, if you have a brain, Sean Carter is talking to Jay-Z and pretty much saying, yo, die. You got to kill this shit.
Yeah.
You know? Speaking of your boy.
Yeah, of course. We got it. It's got to be said, man.
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I got to send this to JC.
Yep, went out and said that he supported the Big Baller brand, and he bought 3 pairs of Zoe 2s just to support the movement. And again, like I emphasized when I brought it up some episodes ago, I really don't understand what the issue is when we as black and brown people want to go into business for ourselves, and then everybody wants to look at it like you're doing it wrong. Like, what do you mean we're doing it wrong? We want to go into business for ourselves. We don't want to make pennies off of $1 for somebody else. We want the whole damn dollar. Mm-hmm. And he basically said that, you know, he reiterated that and then went further by saying, you know, you got to remember, Nike started out and had shitty shoes to start out with.
Yep.
Or, you know, when Jordan decided he wanted to do the Jordan brand away from Nike, he's like, I guarantee people were telling him the same shit too. But look what happens. You got to have trust and faith in yourself.
Exactly.
You know, it's a matter of, you know, we always talk about, we always want to come up, but then when we put plans together, we're so quick to discredit them instead of supporting and giving praises and uplifting those the mindset and then the plan itself. So from a Lakers fan standpoint, that was great to hear. But then also just from the standpoint of a young man of color who, you know, wants to eventually get into that realm of, you know, starting businesses and supports those plans and movements. That was great to hear.
Oh yeah, and another thing that really stuck out to me was it was a soundbite, but he said some real shit about keeping it, just saying the truth. And he said he was just saying like, you just got to say the truth, man. That's all I do is tell the truth, and if you can't handle it, then that's on you. You know, I got to keep moving forward. I got to keep doing what you got to do. If you can handle it or not, it is what it is. But this is just who I am. I just told the truth. And that just really personified who the hell I am. Like, you know? And he just kept pushing. And he also said, like, you just need to keep doing things with good intentions and let the universe, work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was dropping gems throughout the whole shit. Another one,
I fully agree.
Another one that was hella funny is when he said he wished he could redo the whole title announcement press conference.
And Elliot Wilson was like, "What do you mean? What would you change?" And he goes, "Man, it was just like we were just some whiny ass artists that were just crying about not getting paid, and he goes, it just didn't look right when I look back on it.
It really did. It was stupid. Had all them artists up there signing that little shit, saying we need to get paid more, and that's exactly what everyone was complaining about. And he took offense to it till he really had to check his ego and really think about it. And he was like, "Yeah, that was kind of stupid."
Yeah,
and if he would have did it a whole other way, I probably would have gotten Tidal another way. But
exactly.
Yeah. And what else did he talk? He said he talked about he sees a therapist. That was pretty interesting.
That was initially when he said it. I think the vast majority when he did state that was thinking, okay, he saw the therapist after the Beyonce, the elevator, just that whole situation, and he's like, nah, this shit went back after the situation.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought I was really in Get Out. She was serving me tea. She was ringing bells.
He said that, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I was in a trance or something." As soon as I get out,
I just felt mad uncomfortable at that time. But he said over time he's appreciated it because he was able to dive in and deal with some situations from his past, both personally and just some situations that just have held clout over the family as a whole. And he's able to discuss and talk about it, which led him to then think about himself from a religious standpoint, and how he was saying I don't want to identify myself as Christian, because I do study other things, but I'm just a very spiritual person. I do believe in God. I believe there's an overall plan. That was very insightful to
and he's always said that he does believe there is one true being out there. He doesn't identify himself as Catholic or Baptist or anything. He just believes there is one true God, one true higher power out there,
right?
Which makes sense because everybody like that.
And then we get into the meat of.
Oh, not yet. He said that was the last thing he did say about the whole elevator incident when he goes out and said because he walked past it and he said, "What do you say about 3 great art albums that came out of that elevator?" I think great artists just went into that elevator.
Yep.
And he said when he walked past the 444 building, even when they were still recording the album, he was like, "Of course, fuck that place."
Yep. Said that. Then he also made very clear, him and Solange, that's pretty much been their only, hellfire situation. And he even went as far as to say, I don't look at her just as my sister-in-law.
That's my sister. Period. That's my sister. So that was cool, but we might as well just dive in to the throne burning. It's still burning,
And this is the heavy topic that everybody took away from.
Yeah, besides all the little gems that Hove talked about in that interview, this is the one main thing everyone talked about. Of course,
you don't want just a little sidetrack before. You ever notice that people will always say, "I hate drama," but when you talk to them, they only bring up situations of drama.
Exactly.
You know what I've learned? It's not necessarily that people hate drama. They just hate drama in their personal lives.
Exactly.
As long as they can view from outside, everybody loves drama. Mm-hmm. And this is no different. The situation with Kanye. And he was very open with it. And he stated the real reason why they haven't squashed this is because Kanye brought the families into the situation. And not only did he bring the families into the situation, but he did it while he was on stage.
Yeah, and he knew that was going to happen. Like, come on. And he even said it. Like, he knew he fucked up. He knew he fucked up. He knows that I know he knows he fucked up. And, you know, we're going to have that conversation eventually. We're going to. Eventually. And he knows it's not down the line. He doesn't have no intent, and he knows Kanye's in another headspace. But he knows further down the line we're going to talk.
Right.
Like, if you ever had issues with somebody, like, that's it's going to happen eventually.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a matter of time before that gets cleared up. But at least there's some content to go into that.
And everyone was saying, like, oh, this is his beef. This is his beef between him and between Kanye, his beef with Kanye. And I'm like, he doesn't have beef. This is just a dispute between big brother and little brother.
Right.
It's like a family issue. It's like, no, we're gonna talk. Like, he's done this before, and we've had issues before. We've talked, like, we went past hella other issues before, and he's wrong a majority of the time. But we talk each other out and we move on.
Exactly.
So, hey, man, that's how I'm looking at it. They'll be cool again eventually. I don't know when.
Yeah, it'll take some time, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But speaking of Kanye. There's rumors going around that he and Kid Cudi are possibly recording a collaboration album that's supposed to drop when we least expect it.
Well, yeah, God, shit ain't coming. I don't
We'll see. So, backstory for it. Some photos emerged over the week or the weekend. The two were in Japan with artist Takashi Murakami, who created the artwork for Graduation 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then rumors are now swirling that they're recording, and they're gonna drop this when we least expect it. Only time will tell. I mean, it's far fetched, but I've seen stranger things occur.
But when it comes to Kanye, I don't believe anything that says, "Oh, he's working on an album." I don't believe anything they say. He said he was supposed to drop Turbo Graphics or whatever the fuck after Life of Pablo.
I knew that shit wasn't happening.
I knew that shit wasn't happening. I don't know why everyone believed that, and they made stories behind it. I mean, it is what it is. I don't believe anything. If anything, they'll probably. And then there was that album with him and Drake. I knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then now and then Watch the Throne 2. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. It's just like a whole bunch of no. You're just trying to battle out some demons within yourself right now.
Right.
So whatever, you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm not holding my breath about this. So
yeah, like I said, I'm not. It's not something like, okay, now we're gonna put this on the waiting list, but it's just something to be mindful of. We'll see how it plays out down the line.
And speaking of his wife, I have no gripes with Kim K.
I do.
I know you do. What she said, it was really stupid of her. She had to take that L. And let's just dive into it. Pretty much, what happened was that Kim K was working with a dude named Jeffree Star, and I guess he has a makeup collection, and she was working with him on her social media and all that. Now, Jeffree Star is this dude, it's like a social media dude or whatever, and he's gay. And
makeup artist, drag queen,
gay, whatever the hell he is.
And apparently he's an artist, recording artist. He got a song with Nicki Minaj they put out in 2009?
Yeah, he has an album that came out.
Wow.
Some shit. So yeah, and I didn't know much about him either until I did some research or a friend told me about it. And pretty much he, like back in the day on social media, he was just one racist ass motherfucker. He'll say a lot of racist shit to a lot of black folks, call them roaches, and he was just all around just an asshole. To everybody. So when Kim K revealed that she was working with him, of course there was an uproar. People went in her comments or saying in her mentions and saying how could you work with this racist motherfucker? His history and blah 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 blah. So Kim, she was oblivious to this shit. She didn't really know what was going on, of course. So she goes on her social media, Snapchat and Instagram, and just told people to back up off it. Oh, you guys are so just ignorant. That was him in the past. You guys need to get over it. And blah blah. It was years ago. He's a changed person. Da 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 da. So of course she knew that shit blew up in her fucking face. It blew up in her face, and
rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because she was honestly she was just ignorant when it came to it. So then, literally early the next morning, she goes on her IG. I think it's her IG or Snap, both, and she admits that she fucked up. Pretty much. You say it was a BS apology. That's what it says on the notes, but I could tell she literally just woke up and was just on her phone and just said it, and she admitted she fucked up. And she was ignorant towards it. So, and
to me it was a bullshit apology.
But to play devil's advocate, Kim has always spoke up for like civil rights and shit like that, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter shit. And
yeah, she's spoken up, but she's speaking up is just half the battle. What are you doing?
That too.
Physically.
That too. She's not.
She's spoken up when it's to me. After evaluating the situation, because again, I made it personally clear when she drug Taylor Swift and had the receipts of with the videos. Mm-hmm. I rode for Kim K. Mm-hmm. But in this situation and looking back on it, she seems to only bring it up when it's the hot topic. When it's not the hot topic, she's not talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to me, you're taking advantage of what you consider a wave, and it's not a wave. This is an actual movement. People are dying as a result of this.
Yeah, I admit that.
And regardless of whether you know and are friendly with that person, he's speaking the same words that just killed a white woman and injured 19 others. The same exact words. and you're telling a people who take offense to that to lighten up.
Yeah.
Knowing damn good and well you're married to a black man and you have two multiracial children who have black descent in their blood.
She had to.
I cannot ride for that. I can't do that. And I won't do it.
Yeah, I get you. I completely understand. She had to take that L. She just had she had to take that L.
I mean, for me, it's more. I understand you have a business relationship with this person, but at the very least, you should have just kept your mouth shut.
That too, especially if you knew nothing about it, you should have just kept it and was ignorant towards it.
It's hard to be in that situation where you don't know anything about it when that's the reason why they're in your mentions complaining in the first place. Mm-hmm. Like, why don't you stop looking at just seeing your mentions blow up, which obviously is easier for me to say because, I'm not getting tweeted at 24/7.
Yeah.
But why don't you stop looking at the dings and actually read what people are saying? So that way you can become...
Or do your research on this nigga.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can only use that I was naive argument for so long and in certain situations. This isn't about being naive. This is he made racist comments. Yeah. This isn't naive. It wasn't like he said something that could be interpreted a different way. He said nigger.
Plenty of shit. Called black folks roaches and all types of shit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like,
come on. And your husband and Kim's husband actually beat a nigga's ass when some dude, like years ago, he beat some nigga's ass because he called Kim a nigger lover.
Right.
So, and that was her first time ever experiencing racism like that.
Right. So, I mean, you got it. It can't be the situation where you just speak on it and you go about your business. Either you're in tune with this or you're not.
And honestly, it's kind of obvious she's not really in tune with it. So,
right.
It was probably just a lesson learned for her. Maybe.
So in my situation, I don't feel like she's the worst person on earth.
Yeah.
Apparently, compared to what's going on. But until she wises up and she starts, doing more than just making social media statements, I'm not paying attention, and I really wasn't paying attention to begin with.
Same here. I follow her because it's Kim Kardashian. It's like when you sign on to Instagram, like there's certain celebrities that you have to automatically follow, and she's like one of them. Like automatically, as soon as you sign on, it's like an automatic follow. That's pretty much that's how big Kim K is. So it's like
right.
I used to have gripes with her, but I didn't really know her past, and I respected her hustle, especially with her family. It just is what it is, and for my intake, she fucked up, and she has to take that L. So
gotta take it.
Gotta hold it, lick it, hold it.
Speaking of the Kardashian clan, remember we were talking earlier about the dude at the rally who's yelling and shouting with the tiki torch, and they got the picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody photoshopped Kendall Jenner, and they had her with the Pepsi can. Shit didn't work. It apparently didn't work.
Shit, man. Well, if you go,
but to dive off into new entertainment news,
well, all that shit, yeah. Fuck
we lost a legend.
Yeah.
This weekend. Rest in peace to Dick Gregory,
the original Stay Rope. He was with Muhammad Ali.
Original. I learned about Dick Gregory about 6 or 7 years ago. I think I told you about this documentary they showed on either Showtime or Stars, where it was Why We Laugh, the story about black comedians.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, and he had his own section on that. So that's actually how I got put up on game. And when I saw a lot of comedians that I watch herald this man and say, this is who I would study, I went and did some research, and the brother was a bad brother.
Oh yeah, you should. Do you ever watch his his latest interviews before he died?
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
dude,
definitely.
Yeah, he gets a little offensive on certain things, which is kind of funny. Like they're asking, I was with Martin Luther King, and they set him up. Well, they actually set him up. So did you hear what I just told you? They set him up. And he'd be dead serious about it. Like, why are you asking me stupid questions?
Yeah. See, to me, that shit was funny because it wasn't funny that he said it. It was just, why are you asking this 80-something-year-old man to repeat himself? He knows what the hell he's talking about.
He would get so irritated when people would actually re-ask him the questions in another variation, and he's like, "Did you hear what I just said?" Right. He would just get so irritated and pissed at him.
Yeah, he has that he had that grandpa aura. Mm-hmm. Like, I just told you what the hell I said. Why are you asking me again?
Pretty much.
But again, he's a strong civil rights activist.
He was with Martin Luther King. He was with Muhammad Ali.
Who's who name, and he was also a strong activist for feminism and women's rights. And obviously, as we stated, he has his comedic background and a very, very heralded comedic background. I went back and I listened to a few albums, and man, you could just tell where guys like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle caught inspiration. I mean, of course, the big names like Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney all come to mind, but at its core, it was Dick Gregory. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when I found the news out, in this situation, he's an older gentleman, so I mean, it's not that shocking, but at the same time, it's like, wow, Dick Gregory actually passed away. That's, wow.
Yeah, man. So yeah, rest in peace. God bless the dead of Dick Gregory. Stay woke. And
stay woke. And prayers up and condolences to the family.
Yeah. If we go to
music. And news that excites me.
Yep.
Very much excites me. So for those who don't know, I at this point, I don't know how you don't know, because I made it clear. We have Kendrick, we have Cole. In my opinion, right after that, it's Big Crit. And I'm a big proprietor of Big Crit. And Crit's been quiet for about a year now.
Ever since he got kicked off Def Jam.
Well, he didn't kicked off his
left.
Contract. His contract was done. So now he's completely independent. And he started bringing up noise when he was featured on Dizzy Wright's latest track. Which in itself ended up kind of being a slight towards Dizzy as far as XXL is concerned, because when the track came out, they were solely talking about Crit, and he was like, it's my song, but appreciate the promo. And I was laughing listening to it, and then I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that's why they did it. And I mean, he stole the show. But he announced on Facebook, album is done.
Now, what label is going to drop out? He's going to probably be independent, of course.
Oh, it's independent under his multi-brand. He's dropping independent, but I'm excited because it's usually around this time that we get blessed with King Remembered in Time. So we're going to see what pops up with that. They released a video of him, 8Ball, MJG, and I think Yellow Wolf. If it wasn't Yellow Wolf, it was the engineer. And they were playing the collaboration track, and that shit was knocking.
Okay. Well.
Shit was knocking heavy. And not only has he got the solo album, but Bun B was on Sway in the Morning a couple weeks ago, and they debuted his first single from his new album. The song's called Know What I'm Saying, and it's deeply Dirty South sound. And he went on and announced that Big Crit is serving as his musical coordinator. So whether that means he's co-executive producing or he is, just one of the key collaborators that when they go back to find that ultimate sound, that's who he is. Either way, Crit season is upon us, and I'm very, very excited for it.
Oh, yeah, man. It's kind of crazy that the only song that had Crit, Kendrick, and J. Cole was on a DJ Khaled album.
Yeah.
And Khaled did not deserve that damn record. Cole should have kept that shit for himself.
He didn't.
That song was so fire. That song was so fucking fire, man. Cole had the best. Like, I remember listening to it, and that came out in between, like, what, Born Sinner? Kind of?
That came out in between Born Sinner, Good Kid, Mad City, and then Catalactica.
Yeah, and it was like Khaled got them right when they're at their peak, and I'm like, man, you didn't deserve that track. But
shit, was it Catalactica or was it his debut?
I think it was his debut.
Live from the Underground. Yeah, it was in the midst of all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing the track list for that, and I was like, what? And I heard it, and I was like, yeah, this was too good for this.
Khaled got those songs on his albums. Like, man, it's too good for your shit, bro.
Like, that was the one album. It was Kiss the Ring, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one album where I was like, he don't deserve these tracks, because he had that one. Then he had the Nas and Scarface collaboration.
And then he had the song with Rick Ross and Kanye. I wish you would.
Yeah, I wish you would, man. I was like, oh man, he somehow, some way, he lucked out.
He always lucks out. He always lucks out with all these damn. That's why he's still pushing these damn albums.
Right. So he had that. So again, shout out to Crit. We excited. We waiting on that.
And when it comes to my boy M. like I said last week, like word's coming out that he's about to drop an album sometime around in the fourth quarter, sometime in September, October, or whatever. Well, according to, I guess, one of those Detroit radio stations, one of the popular, like Mojo in the Morning or some shit like that, he heard a new Eminem song that features Pink. And pretty much he's assuming that it's his first single. And they don't know when it's coming, but it's featuring Pink. So, and Pink also, it's announced that she's gonna get the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs. So it's kind of perfect timing between M and Pink and shit like that. She's about to drop an album soon, so I don't know, I'm not skeptical. I know what M's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I trust what he's gonna do. So if he has Pink on there, all right, because Pink is one of the only artists, like female artists, pop artists that he actually trusts. And he's actually cool with. Like, they have a good history of together of being hella cool. And Won't Back Down was a good record. So
yeah.
And there was that one song called In the Weekend, which was so fucking random. That was on Pink's album, and it was supposed to be the first single. But I remember I heard that track, and I'm like, why is M on this record? Like, it was just too, I don't know. Sometimes M became the most mainstream rapper out there. But
yeah, we'll see how that all transpires.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know when it's coming. And also, if we're on Cardi B, Busby Petty watch, Cardi B's number 3 on the charts now.
Yeah, she rising.
But apparently Taylor Swift is rumored to drop her new album. No, not her album, but her new single really soon. And Despacito is pretty much not gonna leave anytime soon on the top 10. But the Cardi B just released like the Spanish version of Bodak Yellow. I didn't listen to it because I speak English, but I know
it's gonna pop though because of her Puerto Rican roots. For sure.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna rise. And Nicki is no frauds as last time I checked is nowhere in sight. So.
No frauds is no good.
No good. Shit. It's number 3. Another fucking L for Nicki. Speaking of another L, fucking Mystical got charged with rape yet again. Somebody need to watch themselves.
Man.
I don't know what to say to this. It's like, dude, this is why you went to jail the first time?
Yeah. I keep bumping him against the wall.
That's what he did to her. And
he keeps bumping him against the wall.
Somebody was in danger.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh well.
Yeah. That's what happens when you sign a Cash Money.
He's on Cash Money?
Yeah, remember?
No.
Remember when he got out? When he got out back in 2011?
You know how long that was?
Money. Yeah.
Shit. Well, speaking of Cash Money, your boy Weezy did some interview and he said that Carter 5 is done and he can drop it anytime he wants to. And I was like, what? But the whole reason why you were dissing Birdman was because he wasn't going to drop it. Now you're saying you could drop it at any time?
He don't even know what he saw. He don't even believe that racism exists. So nobody gives a fuck.
That nigga leaned out his mind, man. So whatever.
Exactly. The original fucking Tariq.
Wow, that's taking it too far, man. I don't hate him like that.
I don't hate Tariq, but I'm just saying he's leaned out his fucking mind.
Leaned out the mind. Oh shit! And I didn't really pay attention to this shit. Well, Meek Mill was detained in Bronx for recklessly driving, and he got acquitted for it. It wasn't nothing that big.
Yeah, they basically just rode him up and took the bike or something like that. That was basically it.
Yeah, well, it's like whatever. At least he didn't violate his probation, so he all right.
Right.
Stay your ass out of jail, Meek.
And then,
are you still listening to? Oh no, I was about to say, are you still listening to Wins and Losses?
Nah. But to be fair, I haven't listened to a lot of diverse recently. Like I've basically gone back to just old Kendrick, old Crit, and I've been blasting GoldLink's album for a cool couple weeks now.
I've been listening to, for whatever reason, I'm revisiting To Pimp a Butterfly ever since everything that's been going on right now with that Hoe Ass nigga. To Pimp a Butterfly has a whole different layer to it now since that Hoe Ass nigga came elected, and I'm looking at that album cover and I'm like, that could be reality really soon. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But speaking of albums,
your boy Gucci.
He announced he's going to drop Mr. Davis on September 15th. They just released the first single, I Get the Bag, which is featuring none other than Migos. And Migos obviously is the hottest group out right now, but if you know the history between them and Gucci, you know this goes far back and extends back to when he was still doing federal time. And so again, they dropped the single and the video for it, and it's a banger. Not much to be said. You're gonna be hearing it on radio pretty soon.
Probably.
It's gonna not.
I'm not really a Gucci fan like that. I mean, I remember when we went to a show and it was fun to go to, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big time Gucci fan. It's Guwap all day, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. And that pretty much wraps up.
That wraps up that little part of it, and then a lot of shit happened in sports this week. Fucking
yeah. So for the fantasy football players and owners, you know that this season is a big time of the year. Obviously, before the NFL season starts, you're getting your teams ready. Madden's going to be dropping out drops out tonight for those who pre-ordered the GOAT edition.
Are you going to get that?
Hell no, I ain't get no fucking Tom Brady on my cover. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh damn, you said that with a lot of anger and just. But are you gonna I'm just saying, are you gonna get Madden? Period.
Oh, did I pre-order? Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I'll get it on Friday.
Like I said, I haven't played Madden in I still have the one from last year, and I have not opened it. I got it for Christmas.
I played last year's for maybe between 3 and 7 times total. Mm-hmm. But I had an excuse then. I was traveling every other damn week, so I didn't have time. This one, they actually took a note from 2K, and they got the My Player mode with a storyline.
Oh, wow, okay. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so they added that, so I'm definitely going to check that out. They've said they've made some drastic improvements to not only gameplay, but the owner, the franchise mode.
Oh, whatever.
So we'll see how it goes.
Same damn game. Madden's not exciting unless you play online.
But... Again, for those who are into fantasy football, this is a big time of the season, and of course, ESPN decided that for the past two years now, they just take over 26 straight hours on ESPN and just do coverage on it. And
that's a fucking franchise itself, man.
Yeah, it's in the people don't understand fantasy football's it's a money grab, close to the billions, if not in the billions.
I can't do that shit.
But they made the mistake of showing an auction draft. Not necessarily
I saw that shit.
Not necessarily the auction draft in itself, because I have participated. This is my 6th or 7th year playing fantasy football, and I've had a few where I've done auction drafts. The auction draft wasn't the issue.
If you all seen Get Out,
it was that. It was just they had Odell Beckham's head on a popsicle stick, and of course they're auctioning him off
with a whole bunch of white folks.
It wasn't the auction itself, it was the crowd. There were no black people trying to bid on Odell Beckham. It was just white people, and this was literally coming off 4 days after Charlottesville,
and a day after what Hoe Ass nigga taking their sides, and a day after
that. So ESPN caught flack. Stephen A. Smith even went out and publicly put them in check for that. Because he was like, I can tell you right now, there was no diversity in the meeting room when they were coming up with this idea. He goes, I can assure you, if they had at least one black person in there, it wouldn't have gone down this way. And in the very least, they would have had some diversity in the crowd doing the auctioning. So that, again, I understand it from the standpoint it's fantasy football, but on the other standpoint, as a black and Mexican man, you can't do that, man. You gotta just stick to the standard drafts, and we'll go from there. And then you had 50 NYPD officers who took a stand for Colin Kaepernick against police brutality over the weekend.
Yeah, it was dope. That was real dope with them.
It was dope, and then it also showed how sad everybody's mind frames are, in the sense of they still don't know what the hell he's protesting, because there's a select few out of those 50 who have said they've been receiving death threats since then.
Of course.
So,
white folks standing with black folks, and whatever reason white folks get crazy. It's like, don't be the old fucking nigger lover. Like, okay.
Yeah, but again, blue lives matter only when it's convenient. Mm-hmm. And I want to give a personal, to step away from sports real quick, I want to give a personal shout out to the 2 slain police officers out in Florida, who were basically executed in their damn car. So again, we talk about the issues with police brutality, and we understand we stand up for that. At the same time, I have family in law enforcement, so that's a touchy subject. There's got to be a common ground. The answer isn't going after police. for all those who don't uphold, well, I guess you could say they do uphold the law because the law wasn't made to protect us in the first place. But for those who abuse their power, you have a good portion who are law-abiding law enforcers, and they do their jobs to the best of their abilities because they want to make a difference for positive. And that's just not the answer. You just don't run up and killing police ain't gonna solve anything. It's just gonna make matters worse. So we send prayers out to their spirits and their condolences to their families. But as you were saying, we've reached a point where white athletes are now starting to take stands with those who are making statements. So you had Chris Long, who stood with Malcolm Jenkins for the Philadelphia Eagles. You had Justin Britt, who went back to the bench area and stood next to Michael Bennett with the Seahawks. And then Saturday night, you had my familia. You had Derek Carr put his arm around Khalil Mack on the sideline as Marshawn went and chilled at the bench like he usually does. And to me, it's important, man. It's very important. It's as like Chris Long stated. He personally won't kneel or take a sit for the anthem just because of what it represents to him. But at the same time, he's also not naive or insensitive to realize that this situation, while it's not his fight, is not something that is fake or is something that's fake or just made up. It's real plight that his teammates and that people he respects, they're going through, and he stands for that. And so he made clear that he took a stand and he supports that. And really, that's the only way that we're going to get through with this is everybody coming together in unison and just making a statement that we stand together. Props to everybody. Props to everybody that did that. The Browns head coach Hugh Jackson, he doubled down after his initial comments.
What did he say last week?
He basically said that while he respects those who take political stances and evoke their freedom of speech right, he hopes that it doesn't take place in his locker room.
Oh, so he was at his sucking place.
Pretty much. And then a few days later, he pretty much doubled down and was like, oh, well, we just hope that it doesn't take place and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah. Which led to, honestly, the racial discussions have brought out the true MVP in all of this, which is
your boy Kevin
Shannon
Durant.
Sharp.
Oh,
nah, Shannon Sharp.
Not yet.
Shannon Sharp, man, Shannon Sharp's been on his game for the last year and a half since Skip went over to FS1.
Oh yeah.
And he's with the shit. He sure gonna call it how he sees it. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks he's just this colorful guy that likes to wear colorful bow ties, and but he knows what the hell he's talking about, and he's gonna hold you accountable.
Oh yeah, he will.
And when Hugh Jackson brought this up, he, just like with Ray Lewis, just like with the other coon from FS1, Whitlock.
Fuck him.
We ain't getting into him.
Not him.
But all in all, he will address it, and he will let you know that he ain't feeling it. And so we must protect Shannon Sharp at all costs. Like that's just where we're at. Protect Shannon Sharp.
I thought that was a given.
That we got to protect Shannon Sharp at all costs.
You know who else we also must protect? Is your boy Kevin Durant.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's your boy now. He's your boy now.
So, again, I've always stated that when it came to Kevin Durant, I never had an issue with Kevin Durant in terms of his personality. I would never go out and say that he was a weak player. I've always just been on record as saying he made a whole ass move. I mean, it is what it is. I've now reached the point where I just choose not to focus on that with Kevin Durant anymore because he's clearly shown he's down for the culture and he's in tune with everything. And when it comes to that, it's bigger than sports with me. And there's no reason to keep bringing it up. So he went out and they brought up Trump to him. And he basically was like, yeah, I don't fuck with him. Like, just put it out there in those words.
Pretty
I don't
much.
fuck with him.
Yeah.
And so when they asked him to clarify, he goes, you got a man out here who is provoking these types of situations with his words. You know, how do you support that?
And how
do you stay down for that?
And he said he ain't going to the White House.
And he's not going to go if they extend the invitation. He's not going to the White House.
I don't think none of the Warriors are going to the White House.
Exactly, and he's confident that everybody else, which rightfully so, they've already made clear they ain't going to the White House.
I think at this point, every NFL, NBA, NHL, depending on what, or MLB, don't go to the White House, because if you show up to the White House, we're going to know where you stand.
Pretty much.
So
pretty much. And Kevin Durant's comments actually led a firestorm on First Take the next day. So there's this guy, Will Kane. He makes guest appearances, and Will Kane's outspokenly Republican. He made it clear.
Well, who's Will Kane play for? Is he he's just a commentator?
He's a commentator. He's actually a former lawyer too.
Oh, liar.
So he when Kevin Durant made these comments, of course, it was a topic on First Take this past Friday. And, of course, Max Kellerman and Stephen A. supported it because, you know, they're taking stances. And Will Kane just was like, I don't want, you know, this shouldn't have been a political move. And Stephen A. Smith was like, what's political about it?
That part. I saw that clip when Stephen A. just kicked back and just looked at the camera. Yep.
Yeah, like he was done. And next thing you know, Will Kane plays the quote-unquote oppressed white man and just goes on this big-ass tirade, you don't listen to me. Every time I bring something up, it's always good guy, bad guy, and nobody listens to my plans, and that is very irritating. And Stephen A. Smith and Max are just staring at the camera like, really?
Yeah, it was one of those moments. It was one of those moments.
We're an hour away from the weekend, and you want to do this, Will?
Yeah, it was one of those moments where you just got to let a nigga talk. Just let this nigga hate himself.
So then he's going off, and then Stephen A. Smith and Max come back, and they basically say what he was saying was BS. And when I say basically, they actually said it. Stephen A. Smith was like, that's total BS. And Max is just on his quietly was just, yeah, it's BS. And they just went back and forth for another 5 or 10 minutes or so. So that was actually that was good entertainment. Yeah, that going on. Hoodie Mello has made an appearance.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot pop up in my timeline. What is this Hoodie Mello shit?
So Hoodie Mello, have you seen any of his, when he posts his workout videos?
I don't follow him on Instagram like that. So.
Okay, so when he's in the gym, he's got a cut off hoodie.
Okay.
Without the sleeves, and he wears his hoodie. And in all his videos, you don't see him missing a shot. Everything's going in. And finally, people just wanted to show appreciation for it, so they started up a petition to get Hoodie Mello into NBA 2K. And NBA 2K went along with the joke, and they had Melo's original rating at 82. But then they did a joke where they put Hoodie Mello in, and Hoodie Mello had the highest rating out of all of them at 98.
Oh, God.
And people just rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? J.R. Smith came out and was like, Melo's my boy, but if I had to choose, I got to choose Hoodie Mello. Well, and after a while, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yo, what's up with Hoodie JC? You know what I'm saying? I rock hoodies all the time. How come ain't nobody giving me my shine? Where's my praise for that? I rock hoodies when it's fucking 101 degrees outside. Yeah,
that's a fact. He'll come to my house hot as hell, and you have a big ass hoodie on. I'm like, nigga, aren't you hot? He's like, nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like where's the love for Hoodie Cole at? Well, how come I don't get that?
Hey, I get it. I wear hoodies too, man.
Do I feel some? Am I coming across as a hater? Yes, because I feel some type of way about that. I feel like I should be getting my praise too, man. Where's my endorsement deal?
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Where's my rating in 2K? I want a 57 rating in 2K.
You want a 57 rating? Exactly 57?
Yeah, 57. I ain't a baller like that. I'm short. You know what I'm saying? But 57 is better than 0. Why can't I get that?
Fuck that. I make myself 99. I made myself on Madden when they had to create the player. I put myself on 99.
Well, see, it's different when you got to make yourself. When you make yourself, you got to put yourself at 99.
Hell yeah.
For them to just put me in the game, I don't care what my rating is, just as long as it ain't 0. But why can't Hoodie Cole get something? You know what I'm saying? I'm out here in these streets.
Why don't you make your own 2K like Hotez told you? Make your own shit.
Shit, I just might.
Shit.
I just might. I might call it LeVar, and I might make Big Baller Brand the official endorser of that. I'm saying too much. You know what I'm saying? That's a plan we're going to have to keep, and I'm going to try to initiate that.
Well, if you're talking about Big Baller Brand, can we just what's going on with your Lakers?
So they came out with news today on some bullshit. Pacers acting like some hoes. talking about they filed a grievance against us with the NBA saying that we tampered with Paul George, Magic Johnson exclusively doing it. And I'm like, first of all, how the hell do you tamper with somebody that's under contract?
For real.
It wasn't like this was his free agent year and we were talking with him while he was still under contract. He's still under contract and you traded him away to a different team. How are we tampering with him? What the hell are you talking about?
Let's try to hate on your Lakers, man.
But they tried it, so now they're investigating. And obviously the Lakers came out and said, we're more than willing to cooperate. We ain't do nothing.
We ain't the Patriots.
Yeah, so I mean, it's much ado about nothing to me. But worst case scenario, the NBA can evoke a stipulation where when Paul George does become a free agent, the Lakers won't be an option for him as a result.
Well,
now, do I think it's going to happen? No, but I've seen crazier shit take place in sports, so it's just something to keep your eye on.
You never know. Next season, you all might get Paul George and LeBron, so hey.
Anything's possible, man. You know what I'm saying? We got the cash flow to do it. We got management, and we got Lonzo and Brandon Ingram as our helm. And we'll see how it all plays out.
Well,
but
when it comes to my Niners, I gotta put in this little tidbit. I guess I haven't been watching preseason so far because fuck preseason. I really just don't care about preseason. But I guess the Niners got scraped by the Broncos, and it's preseason, so I honestly don't care. I mean, it's preseason. I don't care. It is what it is. So I guess a story came out that Shanahan, that's his name, Mike Shanahan or Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, he came
Mike's
out.
his dad.
Yeah, he came out in a statement and said that after the game, a press conference, he said every Niner player in the building needs to be pissed off about the loss on Saturday. And in my mind, I just said, nigga, it's preseason. Shut up. Nigga, it's preseason. I don't give a damn about that shit. Oh shit, I'm watching Raw right now. John Cena's on Raw. Ain't that some shit?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is live, people. That's not surprising. Yeah, man. So, I never really. I just wanted to say that shit. Fuck Jed York, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Speaking of, what happened to Goodell? I saw on the notes. What happened with him?
Well, who?
Roger Goodell.
Oh, Goodell. I thought you said Cordell. I was like, who? Roger Goodell, he's looking to re-up. He's trying to get his contract extended. They're like working on a new 5-year extension that would put him as commissioner through 2024.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that in all honesty, but that's another topic. What ESPN did do was they put up contracts during that tenure from 2005 to 2016. A-Rod is number 1.
Really?
Kobe Bryant is number 2. And Roger Goodell is number 3.
Wow.
I feel some type of way about that because Roger Goodell has not thrown or caught a fucking ball in his tenure. So a commissioner making that kind of money to me is absurd. But again, that's a topic for another day. But he's looking to re-up. We'll see how that takes place. The NFLPA is already talking about they trying to do a work stoppage and a strike, but we'll see how that goes.
That ain't gonna happen. They're gonna find a deal.
They basically screwed themselves because even if they go on strike, the owners already worked the contracts out with the TV agreements that even if they do that, they're still going to get the TV money. And if players ain't playing, they ain't got to distribute the TV money. So the owners can hold out for as long as they want. It's the players who are going to be screwed in the long run. So NFLPA got to take that L off of the last collective bargaining negotiation. And they're going to have to try to get that shit rectified when the next one comes up because it ain't working for them.
Pretty much.
And then to wrap everything up, Anquan Bolden just announced his retirement a few hours ago.
Hey, man. Shout out to him, man. He did what he could on the Niners. He got his ring with the Ravens. Had a great year with the Cardinals. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
One of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, so he's big shouts out to him. We'll see if he is immediately considered for the Hall of Fame because they be on their BS too. We still waiting on Terrell Owens to get in.
But that's what happens when you burn your damn bridges.
And, to me, it ain't got nothing to do with burning bridges. You got people in the damn Hall of Fame that,
But that's the case.
They got dirt on themselves.
That's the case that Pete Rose needs to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So, but that's my thing. Is like, what does that have to do with his numbers?
Well, look on the bright side. Well, look at it this way. Do you think Chris Benoit needs to be inducted?
See, to me, you're putting stories that have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Like, their reasoning for Terrell Owens didn't murder anybody.
Yeah, true.
Their reasoning behind it is he broke up teams.
Yep.
But if you look at it, when he left the teams, they weren't the same.
At all. Well,
and his numbers, it's clear across the board. Like, so if you're going to play moral police across the board.
True.
There's some people that shouldn't be in that damn Hall of Fame if you want to play that game.
True.
It's a horrible situation to put in. Like, we're putting writers in charge of being the moral police. Get the fuck out of here.
I thought it was like other people in charge. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit, especially with T.O. Like, he burned all his damn bridges, and it is what it is.
I mean, I don't even think he burned all his bridges when you consider the fact that if you ask his teammates, the ones that they're saying he, put in bad situations, you got McNabb that came out and was like, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And that's who they're citing. Like, he had a horrible relationship with McNabb and, all that. And it's like, McNabb has no issue with being in the Hall of Fame, so what does it matter to you? Put the damn vote in.
Yeah. And what else is going on? And so if we just go on back off of sports, now go back on TV and shit like that. Well, not the TV, but the movies. I went to the movies this weekend, and there was there was really a lot of movies I wanted to see, but there was this one that just popped up, and it was called Logan Lucky, and it's with Channing Tatum, who else is in there? Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, and who else was in there? What's his name from Family Guy? You know who I'm talking about. I see his face. You know, the creator of Family Guy.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, he's in it. And pretty much in a way, it was one of the best movies of the year. Like, whenever you get a chance, you should go see this movie. Like, I don't want to spoil much. Well, I spoil it if I just describe it. But it's pretty much the hillbilly southern version of Ocean's 11. It's like a dude pretty much, like Channing Tatum plays this guy that's pretty much like lost his job. He came out from Iraq. He was working. He lost his job. He's trying to go back to his ex-wife who he has a daughter with, and she's about to move away with her boyfriend husband. So he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get my boy Adam Driver, my brother, and we're gonna just try to plan to rob the NASCAR. Like, we're gonna get the money at the NASCAR race."
Interesting.
Yeah, really good movie. Saw that shit. And when it comes to TV shows, I wasn't really watching a lot of shit this weekend because I was just busy doing stuff. But I was watching The Defenders, the Marvel TV show. And I'm kind of halfway in, and I'm very, very just blah on it right now. Because The Defenders is pretty much like their fucking
Iron Fist,
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and they're all coming together to just like stop evil forces. And the storyline is it's 8 episodes, but every episode feels like it's like 2 hours long, even though it's 1 hour. And I'm trying to get into it, like I'm trying to like it, I'm trying to get excited about it, and it's just not hitting me. It's like
it ain't just you. I know a bunch of. I know, and I say this not in disrespect. This is how we address ourselves, and to me, a nerd isn't a bad word.
Oh no,
I have a lot of friends that are sci-fi nerds, and they've been watching it, and they're like, "Where's the excitement?" So it ain't just you.
Yeah, I know it's not just me. My boy J5. Go on.
Yeah, I attempted to watch it, but they were like, "Nah." They go, "I'm 4 episodes in, and you haven't watched anything but Luke Cage. You got to go back and watch all of them to get the references." No, I don't think
you don't need to watch Iron Fist. The Iron Fist was trash. You got to pretty much.
Well, everybody was saying it was trash, but they're like, just to play it safe, watch it all. And I was like, oh, well, I got to add some shows to my list then.
But Jessica Jones, I love Jessica Jones. I love Luke Cage, and I love Daredevil. So they're trying to combine all of this. I didn't like Iron Fist. That shit was trash. But they're trying to combine them all together, and it just... I'm not halfway in. It's only 8 episodes. And it's like they're trying to do one big-ass mashup, and it just isn't working. I don't know what it is. It's like they're trying to do it, and it's just... I'm not exciting. It's just a slow build-up. The plot is just blah. It is what it is on that shit. But, and we forgot to touch on sports. SummerSlam was this past Sunday. It was NXT first, but of course it's the Coup de Grace SummerSlam that took place in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center, the building that Hove built. And we watched the show. I'm kind of in the middle of watching the pre-show because I guess there was matches on there that didn't make the main show, and the pre-show was 2 hours. And the main show was 4 hours, so all around it was WrestleMania. It was like 6 hours long. Like, what?
Right.
And from what I'm watching from the main show, only match I was really looking forward to was the Fatal 4-Way between Brock and Braun and Joe and fucking, what's his name? Roman Reigns. That match was fire.
It was definitely fire. I had an issue. So, again, I watch wrestling pretty much every pay-per-view at this point. I don't be paying attention to much.
Yeah, well.
In between. And I'm going through the card, and I'm like, why the hell is New Day and the Usos on the pre-show?
Yeah, I did not think it was going to be on the pre-show. I thought it was going to be on the main show, but they bumped him to the pre-show.
So I was already rubbed the wrong way. I was irritated as hell. Because especially after the match ended, the match was easily top 3 match of the night, if not one of the best, the better ones. And I'm like, you put it on the damn pre-show. What the hell? And then to make matters worse, I ride with Randy Orton, man. I really do. The damn match was 10 seconds.
The match shouldn't even been on the damn card.
Like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I know, but
it pisses me off.
We just got to talk about, honestly, we got to talk about how the Fatal 4-Way. I also shout out to Natty. She's Natalia Neidhart, who's also a fellow Tupac fan, because she has some cats. She has cats named Two Paws and Machiavelli. But yeah, she became the SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat Naomi, and it was the first time in like a long ass time since like 7 years since she held a championship. And she's one of the most talented women wrestlers in the WWE, and it's a long time coming because she's really, really great in the ring. So shout out to Natty. And also shout out to Sasha Banks because she became the 4-time women's champion for the first time, and 4-time women's champion on Raw, SmackDown champion. So shout out to her, Black Excellence.
Yep.
And when it comes to, the main event was just awesome. It was just madness. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, the ending was whatever. Brock Lesnar won, and I do not know why they still have the title on him. And it's just, it's a whole bunch of like shit I can really just get into. If Edgar was here, we'd probably talk forever. But he hasn't even been watching this shit. So it's kind of like I'm the lone wolf. It's like,
the writing is just, God, man.
Don't blame the writers. Blame Vince McMahon.
I'm blaming everybody. At some point, you got to stand up to the man.
They try to, bro. I wish I could tell you all this stuff because I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've watched a lot of interviews with creatives and all this other shit. It's more than just stepping up to Vince. It's all the head people. You guys, politics at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, shit. Get it together. Fix it.
Well, people don't have to fix shit. People are still watching. People are still paying for the shit. The wheel's just going to keep turning. Word to CM Punk.
Yeah, well.
It is what it is. And that's, hey, man. I'm looking at David Ortega. Oh, your boy.
Side note, real quick. So we go back to what Hugh Jackson was saying. I just got an update. A group of Browns players huddle and knee during the national anthem during tonight's game against the Giants.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Just a group, not the whole fucking team.
A group, but a big-ass group, considering I'm counting at least 7 players in the circle.
So you thought you could get rid of the fucking problem, but the problem is just now spreading to all the fucking team members.
Mm-hmm. And from the looks of it, it is not exclusive to black players. Yeah. There's at least one white player involved with it. Mm-hmm. We'll keep an eye on that for sure.
We might as well just get into music. It was a really, really dry music. It's been, for the past few weeks, it's been really fucking dry. Ever since Hove dropped, everything's been very, very dry.
Yeah, I think people are just getting ready for the fourth quarter. I think next month is when we're finally going to start seeing.
Yeah, because apparently Taylor Swift is supposed to be going to drop her next single. M's supposed to drop his single. A lot of shit's supposed to come out pretty soon.
Everybody's just finishing out the end of summer.
Pretty much.
Ray Shrummer's on the way back, though. They dropped their Pegasus single. I was rocking with it.
Is it going to be, what's it called? Shrimp Life 3?
Yeah. Man,
they got to come up with better names, man.
I mean, whatever. Just keep the hits coming. I don't care.
But, yes, like if we could just go down the line, Dave East dropped his shit, The Paranoia, A True Story, and that was Zizzin, and that's a true story. Man, that shit was blah.
A letdown. A letdown. I was rooting for Dave East.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, that's how I felt about his last shit. It was very blah. It was forgettable.
Just the vibe of it, like there was no balance. He was just rapping monotone the whole time, which is cool. Which is cool because I mean, again, you want pure hip hop in the sense of rappers that rap, but you got to sell these projects. You can't have a 13-song project and everything sounds the same. You can't.
There wasn't even 13 songs. It was like 12 or 11 if you count the skits.
Yeah, so I mean,
the skits were just like
it's just a run on, and then it was a promotional feature when they had Nas on there. Nas, all he did was talk in the beginning of the song. So
and in the end.
Yeah, like it was a situation you didn't even need to put Nas on there, but from a promotional standpoint, it was to get people's attention.
Pretty much. And the whole song, like the Chris Brown single, was it called Perfect?
Yeah,
it was just good just because of Chris Brown. Like Chris Brown should have just held that for his own to put it on his little 40 album shit that I'm not going to listen to.
Right.
So, whatever.
Rose, man.
It was like you yawned.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I'm yawning right now, and that's pretty much the best way to describe this album.
Yeah, it was just funny seeing all the New York people, like, support him. Like, he has the number one out. All the people in New York, they were just supporting the hell out of him. And it's just intriguing to see that shit. You feel me? And and it's just funny because you could tell he sent them text messages to all his little rapper friends like, yo, post the shit on Instagram, like post this on Instagram, say you support it and all this other shit. Like, okay, bro, okay, yeah, like that's good. Yeah, like a rapper's cosign is gonna help you get themselves up. The music has to talk, man. I don't give a fuck if Drake, Kanye, all of them, if they're supporting it, I'm not gonna go support it. Let the music speak.
Right.
If we keep going down the line, A$AP Ferg dropped his shit, Still Striving, and that shit was still boring. I couldn't really get into that shit either. I was kind of let down because I love Trap Lord. Trap Lord, bang. His beginning shit, he had the right features, right everything. This shit, I just literally skipped through the whole shit. Like, I tried, like, because before the show, like, I have a long weekend. These albums they didn't grab me. Like, if the albums don't grab me, I'm going to make an attempt to listen to it. And if I get impressed by it, yeah, I'll talk about it. But this shit, it was just boring to me. It wasn't
just you.
It was a lot of people.
The first two songs, I really only listened to them because I wanted to hear what Meek and Cameron were saying.
Yeah.
And they definitely made it worthwhile. And then after that, it was just...
Skip. He was trying too hard.
Every time I hear Nav get on a record, I just can't help but laugh. I can't take him seriously. The only song that I've heard from him where I didn't laugh was the one where he was featured on Travis Scott's last album. It's the only one.
Nav is he has a song with The Weeknd and he's on EXO.
Of course, because he's signed to EXO. But the thing is, like, we saw his performance at Coachella. I don't know what people see in him.
I think it's trash. It's just the music. It's just the quote unquote. It's the vibes, you know.
Well, his vibe is trash.
Stupid trash.
Garbage.
His music is low key trash too. His debut.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not listening to your music for a vibe if you're not saying much.
I don't know.
He's not saying much.
He's probably just...
Like, there's a difference between a vibe, like, you know what I'm saying, listening to Currency. Currency has a vibe.
I think it probably holds on to fucking Weeknd's X pills or some shit. I don't know. And then he just realized that he makes music. So he's like, okay, I'll sign you.
Something. It's got to be something. But, all throughout, I was just,
But the album that really impressed you, I have not listened to it. And I know Karina, she's been telling me to listen to Mozzy since his last project. I have not listened to that. And I know he's one of the dope rappers out here in the Bay, of course. But One Up Top, what's it called? One Up Top Ock. He dropped his, I guess, sophomore album. Oh yeah, shout out to Chang. He developed the...
Apparently this is his debut. Yeah, shout out to Chang.
Debut album?
Apparently this is his debut because everything he was releasing beforehand was just like the mixtape, quote unquote mixtape.
But it was whatever.
Street album stuff, whatever. This is apparently the debut.
Okay.
This is the first time I've listened to Mozzy.
Really?
So I want to make clear right now, like when people were telling me about Mozzy, they were bringing up mob music, which, you know, that's a part of our Bay Area sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So on one hand, it's like okay, but at the same time, it's like I also have evolved too, just as a listener, and I'm like, okay. But again, this weekend it just happened to be the right weekend where not much music was coming out, and these were pretty much the three headliners as far as hip hop was concerned. So I was like, all right, well, let's check it out. And from the first track, I was like, okay, all right, I can vibe with this. Like, you know, it was mob music, bass heavy. I had the beats on, so it was perfect listening to. The first track, well, they had the intro track, but the first actual song was Mandated, which features everybody knows I'm out here, June on the beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you say, You Do was another mob hit. But then it took a turn for me.
Really?
And I was pleasantly surprised. Because then he gets into Take It Up With God. And it's basically an ode to all his slain friends. But he's talking it from the standpoint where he gets really personal. Where it's not just talking about his friends. He's talking about it from the standpoint of, I'm talking with your mom and she's not doing too good, but she's on the phone telling me stories I never knew about you. Like, he gets real personal with this, and it caught me off guard, and I was like, whoa. Let me hear. I want to listen to some more.
Is he signing to Empire?
Yeah, and which then gets into Sleepwalking, which apparently was the first single. I went in. I didn't know he really. Again, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything about Mozzy outside of the fact that he was just getting plugged from publications. I'm listening to Sleepwalking. I'm like, yo. You sure he signed to Empire or he don't got Interscope backing him? Because this is some major label shit that he's promoting right now. And he's got major artists. He featured. He's got Boozy. He's got J-Rock, Dirk, and Dave East. He had a track with the Jacket. Rest in peace.
Man, everyone has a track with the Jacket. Even when he's dead, that dude still has vocals out.
Man, they come in. Man, it's such a bittersweet blessing when you do hear it, because it's like, man, he's not here to perform it, but it's like that's his legacy. There's not going to be another Jack from the Bay.
For real.
And then YFN Lucci was on there. So, I mean, he's got names on here.
Okay.
And like I said, I was going into it expecting to hear a drop off at some point.
And it just kept going?
I was surprised. It was a good flow all throughout. It was a good flow. J-Rock probably dropped another. Probably what's going to be heralded, if enough people hear it, is probably going to be heralded as one of the dopest features of the year.
How does J-Rock always drop dope ass features on underrated albums?
I don't know, but that's just his thing now at this point. It's so funny when you consider that when Top Dog started, he was the franchise player and Kendrick was playing the supporting role
with Little Bruh.
Right, like it's funny to see how it all played out.
Yeah, because he had one of the dope verses on documentary 2.5 and other guest features, and it's like, wow.
And of course, we all know the feature on Good Kid, Mad City.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he came in, he held his own. Again, the songs. There's 5 songs that really I took away from this, which was, again, Take It Up With God, Sleepwalking, Mama We Made It, which has J-Rock on it. Afraid was very, very, man.
Personal?
Afraid was, that was that shit. And then Prayed for This, where he's basically saying, all my life I've prayed for this moment, but I had to anticipate all the bullshit that came with it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, like it's not the typical mob music that you would think. Like it's very personal. Because
when I was going through the process of listening to the albums, I started at Dave East first and then worked my way down. And then I went to and then at that point I was just fatigued of hearing the same shit over and over. And I already know how I am with Bay music. It's always, when it comes out here in the Bay Area, people, if you listen to this in other cities and other parts of the world, Bay Area has like has a similar sound. It's
hit or miss. There's no in between.
There's no in between. You're either gonna like it or you're gonna just be annoyed by it. And I'm low key always kind of annoyed because I don't hear no growth in certain Bay artists.
Right.
And shit
I mean,
like
we publicly and we obviously have supported our acts like Mr. Fab
and 40 and the
Kalani
and
you know what I'm saying, and HBK, all those guys.
All them,
but for all of those, you got about 10 per who are just. It's just sounds and noises. Yes. That's all it is.
And of course, Anonymous and Karina, of course. That's just my shameless plug.
But again, to hear Mozzy, I mean, you're going to get straight gutter hood production. This shit's definitely made for the cars, for sure. Like, you can turn your shit all the way up. You're going to hear it. And you're not going to get... I guess the best way to describe it is you're not going to get somebody that is too concerned with switching his flow and switching, like, becoming different characters on tracks. Yeah. And usually in many cases, that's usually a flaw I'm willing to point out. When it comes to Mozzy, it's actually not something I even care about, because while he doesn't switch his flow up and he's not very he doesn't have a character in the sense of switching characters to match songs to go with it. There's just something about the words that come from his voice. It's just purely authentic. You know he's not making this shit up. This isn't an act. It's not an act for him. It's genuine. And for me, when you have something like that, I will always overlook any negative, because to me this is your life.
Exactly.
You have my attention for these 45 to 60 minutes. You captivated me. You know what I'm saying? You're not just out here just talking. And again, going into it, I thought it was just, the typical Bay Gutter shit.
Because like I told you, Karina, I remember when she was on the show, she told me she really wanted me to listen to his last mixtape. Right. She said it really is good. You need to listen to it.
Yeah, so. And so again, when he started getting real personal, that's obviously my ears were perked up for the production. When he started getting personal, that's when I started paying attention to the lyrics. And all throughout, even on the most hood tracks, he's saying something that's like, wow.
Okay.
Didn't expect that.
I guess
so Mozzy, one up top Ock. Check it out. Get it.
All right.
Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate. Check this album out for sure.
When I go to the gym, I'm gonna listen to this shit. Oh yeah, one other.
Oh, you'll do some work in the gym for sure. He's got those tracks to get you going.
One other thing I forgot to mention. I know Mr. Fab's really just pushing "Feeling Myself" for "Son of a Pimp" Part 2, but y'all need to listen to "Son of a Pimp" Part 2 because there's more tracks on that album that's really underrated, and I really wish he really had the support to push the album the right way. But, Fab's not tripping about it. It is what it is. But I really love that damn album.
And to stay on the Bay Area, we want to give shout out and prayers up. It's been reported this morning that Keek the Sneak was shot at a gas station out in Richmond. You got more information on that. I've been looking for information, but all I've been seeing is people that don't know much of nothing.
What I saw from what Mr. Fab said, he pretty much said that, he is shot. He is in critical condition. He's good. Just got to send his prayers out. But it's like the second time this year he's been shot. So, prayers for Keek, man. That was one of my first few interviews I ever done when I got in this little industry of out here was my interview with Keek, when it was really insightful, somewhere on YouTube. I'll probably look it up. But man, shout out to Keek, Bay Area legend.
Yeah, definitely. Prayers up.
Prayers up for that.
Man, cats gotta stop the bullshit, man, for real. Like, it's just to catch somebody at a gas station, like, for real. Like,
he must we don't know what's been going. We don't even know what's been going on, man. Yeah, but we didn't talk about Power. Should we even talk about Power?
Everybody knows what happened.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. She died.
Fuck it.
Don't go too in depth because we already talked about it last week.
We already talked about it, so just a quick summary. Of course, Raina dies.
The end.
The end, pretty much. Tasha, I do not like Tasha anymore.
I didn't watch the episode. I didn't watch the episode
already on
yet.
the fence. Do you want to know?
Not yet.
Because she's going to say something that's going to completely piss you off. I just want to warn you.
Is it Tyreek level pistosity?
It's worse.
Might as well tell me now.
So, of course, she's messing with the lawyer, right?
Yeah.
And so she brings Keisha over, and they're having a discussion, and she's like, yeah, we going to do our own thing. And she's like, I know you're not talking about reuniting with Ghost. She goes, Ghost? Nah, fuck him. I'm doing my own thing. She goes, and I'm about to... basically what she was saying was, I'm about to divorce him, and then I'm about to get the money I'm owed, and we gonna do this, and we gonna finally go legit. I heard that shit, and I was like, the same shit he tried to hit you with in season one, and you wouldn't even hear of it? Nah, I don't fuck with Tasha, man. I don't fuck with her.
Man, at this point, Tasha needs to die.
All these women talking about, well, Ghost cheated this, and that, and I was like... Well, when you don't have many options when you want to do something legit and your wife has no support for it, don't even watch your fucking kids. And then catches bodies with everybody who's close to you. Nah, man. Nah.
Am I really that surprised that she did that? Not really. It didn't really piss me off. It's not surprising. It's not surprising that she went and did that shit. So whatever. Fuck Tasha. So
she does that. Tommy has probably one of the funniest episodes out of all of them. The shit's just funny. He's so high off his ass off of coke where he just does some shit that's just, it's so fucking funny. And it just shows how strong his and Ghost's brotherhood actually is, because only your brother could get away with doing some shit like that, and you just shake your head and go along with the plan.
Pretty much.
You'll have to see what I'm talking about. The shit's so funny. Of course, Raina dies. On one hand, she was so damn naive because she wasn't raised in the streets, so you just don't go up to somebody talking about my dad's gonna kill you and expect not to get popped. But at the same time, she went out like a G, whereas Tariq literally just watched it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I saw that clip. Yeah, that was the clip I saw.
There's that, and then again, I'm seeing all over Twitter people saying Dre needs to die.
Why does he need to die?
And again, I need to tell all of you, you're not appreciating what we're seeing right now. We're literally seeing how Ghost and Tommy came up through Dre. Well, all the moves Dre is making, I'm willing to bet were the same moves that Ghost was making when he had the option to either kill Kanan or put him in jail and take over. We are literally seeing the rise of this series through Dre. I don't understand why you can't appreciate that.
Niggas are idiots, bro. You should know that already.
I mean, see, you got that going on, and then honestly, if it wasn't for Raina dying, this would really have been a funny fucking episode, because they literally turned Kanan into fucking Luke Cage.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot on social media. I was saying like Kanan just became super nigga and just did a whole bunch of shit and killed him.
Literally. It's so funny just watching. Like last week we were talking about how they may have caused fans to not want to pay attention. Honestly, this last episode and knowing what we know going into the season finale next week, I think we may have spoken a little too early. I think they're setting... Honestly, we just got to see how it plays out for next week. If it plays out how... Obviously, we know the main plot, but little certain things, if it plays out the way it's going from this last episode, they're perfectly set up for season 5.
Hopefully it's the last season.
Yeah, but it was a funny episode overall. Except when it gets to the end.
Except when it gets to the end, you know.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I guess we could just wrap it up here. We'll wrap it up then.
Wrap it up then, man.
and
shit, we missed it. I forgot to even bring it up. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
Still don't care what people has to say. They tried to catch him last week in training camp to explain where he was coming from, and he was like, they brought up, obviously the elephant in the room, and he was like, yeah, I think a couple mouses, they came in. And I love the fact he said mouses and not mice. And he was like, yeah, I think a couple mouses came in.
Hello, Oakland.
And they scared that motherfucker out the room, so ain't nothing to talk about. And then they brought it up again. So for those who I didn't clarify, this is, of course, to him sitting down in week 1 of the preseason. And then they brought it up another question, trying to get another response. And his response to that was to bring up a play that they run where he's having trouble with it. But he ends it with, but I'm a veteran. I'll get it eventually. And he just ended. That's pretty much how it ended. I love Marshawn Lynch, dog. Like, I watched Marshawn Lynch since he was at Cal. You talk about a man that's for our culture, man. He does not care what you think. And not only does he not care what you think, he's going to do what he do. And then he's going to go back to the hood and give back to the community. Exactly. That's all he's done.
Man,
that's all he's done.
Man. You're a real nigga. All the real niggas come from the Bay, man. What can I say? What can we say?
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. You're in the land of the snakes, so keep it real out there, bro. Shit.
Funneling.
On that note, this was episode 54, man. Damn, 54 of these bitches, man. We're going strong, man. We're going hard and strong. Pause.
Hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga.
Hell yeah. But yeah, we'll catch y'all later.
Yes, sir.
Fuck Jed York.
Peace.